Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and tonight we have another segment of 20 random questions. And your guest tonight is from Minnesota. He's a former pro boxer, he's a coach, and he also owns his own gym, Element Boxing Gym. None other than Dalton Outlaw. How you doing today, Dalton?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Thanks for having me on the show, man.
No problem. I appreciate taking time to come on. I know you're a busy man, like I just mentioned. You're an ex-boxer. You're a coach, so you're always with kids and adults coaching, and trying to run a gym is a pretty full-time job. So tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's crazy. We just recently had our 12-year anniversary of owning and operating Element Gym, serving the community in multiple capacities. Obviously, it's a boxing gym, but, we're a little bit more than just a boxing gym. We consider ourselves a community hub, so we have, a big space where we host shows, but we also got programming that stems from youth programming all the way up to boxing for seniors with Parkinson's. So we have various programs, and we have a lot of offerings there at the gym. So
now when you say you hold shows, you mean like amateur boxing shows, pro boxing shows? What kind of shows?
Honestly, we've hosted amateur and pros. I just had a show on Saturday, our anniversary boxing showcase. So we had about 11 amateur bouts. We have a June 17th bout professional card set up. So stay tuned for that, where we Slink Sona will also be, having another fight.
Nice. Now, where exactly is your gym located? So if people are down in the cities, they want to come check it out or see one of the shows.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in St. Paul, so we're in the midway of St. Paul, right on Fairview University, so right near the State Fair. So we're pretty centrally located between downtown St. Paul and downtown Minneapolis.
But now, like you were just talking about the different boxing programs you got, I also read, don't you have stuff like yoga and some other stuff going on there too?
We got partnerships with organizations such as Pilates, yoga, ballet, wrestling. Like
wow.
WWE type wrestling.
Oh wow! Okay.
Fencing, yeah. There's a fencing group that we work with. Man, it just there's a lot going on in our space, man. We just love serving the community.
All right, so anybody that's down there in St. Paul, man, wants to check out all these different programs, you want to be a WWE wrestler or attempt to get in the door somehow, do some fencing, some yoga, some Pilates, some boxing, or just take in a boxing show, definitely check out Element Boxing Gym down in St. Paul, man. You can Google it, find out the address, the times, and all that. And if you have to, give Dalton a call personally, and he'll let you know what's going on.
Absolutely. Would love to have everybody over.
All right. One more quick question before we get to our 20 random.
Yes, sir.
Now, I read a little bit about this, but I want to hear this from you because sometimes when you read things on the internet, it's necessarily not true.
Absolutely.
So now I know that you were a pro boxer. You had 2 pro fights.
Correct.
But now I read, and now if you really did do this, man, hats off to you if this is really what happened. You gave up your pro career to start Element Boxing Gym, or to at least keep it going and for the youth and to start all these programs. So you gave up your dream to help other people's dreams. Is this true?
Absolutely, man. I came to a crossroads where I had to decide, do I want to, continue to pursue becoming the best in the world, or try to do the best for the world and give back, man. And I chose the latter. And I'm glad I made that decision. I think it was good for me and my family personally. I think it was good for the boxing community locally, because I've done a lot of great things for the boxing community and uplifted a lot of fighters, both amateur and pros. And now I'm able to help in a different capacity and use my skill set in another light. So, yeah, it's been an honor, and that is definitely a true statement there. It's a true fact.
Wow, I applaud you, man, because a lot of people couldn't be that selfless.
Absolutely, man. And it was a tough decision, because I was on a roll, and I was looking forward to continue to pursue, my boxing dream and work towards a world title. I had, Will Grigsby in my corner, from a world champion, who was an amazing trainer. But it didn't work out, man. It just, I had to make a decision, and I finally, just figured out, man, just what I wanted to do, and I ran with it. And now, years later, I'm running one of the biggest gyms in the Midwest, if not in the country. and doing some amazing things in the business as well as my other businesses as well.
Well, I mean, everything happens for a reason, and who knows, someday some kid might walk into that gym because you chose to take over the gym instead of doing your career, and you might end up training this kid, and he could be the next world champion out of Minnesota.
And I sure hope so, man. And to be honest with you, I love serving the kids. I love training the kids. At the end of the day, when these kids come to our gym like that, I don't want them to be, the best in the world. If they want to pursue that, I'm willing to help them. But I just know that boxing, has so many benefits beyond just getting in the ring. You learn so much about yourself, man. And I think that if I can make great citizens and great, athletes or just great human beings, man, I'm happy with that.
Wow, that's wonderful, man. I applaud you on that as well.
Thank
All right, let's get to these 20 random questions.
Let's do it.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number one, how did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
Good question. So I was actually on Saturday talking to my ex-coach, Clem Tucker. So I actually started boxing for BT Bombers Boxing Club back in, it'll be 1995, so we're going way back to when I was 8 years old. When BT Bombers used to be located on Selby Avenue in St. Paul, but after some years, they moved over to a new location on Thomas and Arundel, and I happened to live right around the corner. So I stumbled into the gym, man, at a young age, and I fell in love with the sport, and had my first fight when I was 8 years old.
And so, how many amateur fights did you end up having?
Yeah, I had about 40 amateur fights. My first few years in the amateurs, fighting in the national silver gloves, fighting at Junior Olympics, fighting kids like Tim Taggart and all those kind of guys as an amateur. I fought Caleb as an amateur. And
that's Caleb Truex, by the way, the former world champion.
Former world champion Caleb Truex. Hats off to him and all his accomplishments. I had the honor of sharing the ring with him and just getting in there, having a good time, man. And my 2 pro fights took me to another level, and obviously the change happened from there. And hung the gloves up.
Okay. All right. Question 2. What advice do you give a kid that wants to become a boxer?
I would say that a kid that wants to become a boxer, get in the gym, man. Get in the gym and fall in love with the work. I think that, it's always easy to look from the outside and be like, I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. But when you really find out exactly what it takes, some people don't want to do that, don't want to put in that work. And I think that it's very important to understand what you're getting into. So get in the gym, fall in love with the work, train your ass off, and then start working, not worried about, being the best of, the best of the best.
Okay. Question 3. If you could be any superhero, who would it be and why?
Oh, wow. I would say Batman. I would say Batman. I think Batman, he has he can switch out of that costume, and walk amongst civilians, but he also truly doesn't have any superpowers. I mean, he's just, he's brute strength, and he worked hard, but he doesn't have any like major superpowers. He's a human being, but he walks amongst everybody else like he's human like everybody else. So
okay,
Batman.
All right, question 4. What's your favorite boxing movie?
Favorite boxing movie. I gotta just say I like the Creed movies. I wouldn't say just my ultimate favorite, but I am a fan of the Creed movies. I think it's great to continue to showcase boxing, in this generation, so people can get a chance to see it, get excited about it. Yeah, let's say the Creed movies.
Okay. Question 5. What is something that your boxing fans don't know about you?
Well, I mean, from the boxing world, not a lot of people knew that I came from I played football. I played collegiate football and semi-professional football for many years. And that was one thing that I went back and forth with, even as a youngster. When I got into high school, I played a lot of football and I wrestled and I ran track. But football actually got me a scholarship to college, and I graduated with a business degree. So football was another love of mine that not a lot of people know. I played collegiate Division II football. I was a defensive back.
Okay. Question 6. Who is someone in your life that inspired you outside of boxing?
Mm. Um, Outside of boxing, I would say my mother, man. May she rest in peace. She passed away last year. She was one of my biggest supporters, man. And she taught me how to be a good parent, how to love, how to how to be present. And I miss her dearly, man. And she inspired me in more ways than none. And she was a huge boxing fan. And I say this too. When I first told her I was going to be stepping away from boxing to play some football a little bit, she was mad at me. She was like, "What? You going to play football?" I'm like, "Mom, ain't you a Vikings fan? Like you want to see me on the green, But after she got a chance to see me out there, man, she was still supportive of me and pursuing my dreams, and I definitely cherish and love her for that.
Okay, sorry to hear about your mom, man.
So thank you, appreciate it.
Let's see. Question 7. Tell me a little bit more about your background and your upbringing.
Yeah, so I grew up in Frogtown, single parent household, low income.
Okay, for people that don't understand, what is Frogtown?
So Frogtown, St. Paul is inner city, St. Paul neighborhood.
Okay.
Um, so I went to elementary school there, went to junior high there, went to high school at Como Park. So all within the same vicinity. We didn't have much. We didn't have much as a family, but we had each other, and that was important to us. We were able to lean on positive male role models like Clemmy Tucker Senior, Clemmy Tucker Junior. Ones who when I was young, were there for us and kind of was showing us the light through boxing, and then getting a chance to have some mentors and community support to help guide me through football and coaches to help guide me on my journey to college. Was definitely a privilege, and it all came from just being community orientated and leaning on those who are around me. And I was blessed to have a solid foundation of coaches and mentors and community folks who weren't letting me steer off to the bad direction or getting in trouble, but really staying on the clear pathway of having a successful future. So,
And now you've become one of those same people, and now you're doing the same thing for your
absolutely.
community.
And that's why I feel like it's so important for me to do that work and make that sacrifice. And I love all the fighters who've made their sacrifices and really pushed and really pursued being world champions and become world champions, man. But just for me, like it was like, hey, I need to do this. I would love to bring a championship back, but what if I can create world champions? What if I can get these kids to nationals? What if I find a way to keep my gym open far beyond the years that I'm here? That's what I'm looking to do.
No. Question 8. Who's the one boxer, alive or dead, that you would want to sit down and have a conversation with?
The one person I would like to maybe have a sit down with someday, man, is Andre Ward, man. I think the world of him. I think Christ, as his guider, and support, man. He's always put God first, and I think that he's one of the best boxing brains I think of this era, and he's still here, has everything, has made smart business decisions, outside of boxing so that he can walk away from the sport undefeated, untouched, and also, still having his noodle together, man, to do some great things for his family and such. And I think that he's got a lot of wisdom. You can hear him on TV, commentating often. He's a solid individual, man, and I would love to have a sit down with him. I've met him before, but I didn't get a chance to sit down and have a conversation, man. But he's definitely a boxing brain.
Okay. Question 9. What's the number one problem in the sport of boxing, in your opinion?
Number one problem. Now, are we going to speak on amateur? Are we thinking it's professional? Are we saying
just either one you want to talk about, whichever. It's your opinion. Wherever you think you see the biggest problem at.
The biggest problem in boxing? I have to just say, one of the biggest problems I see, it's a gift and a curse, right? It's ego, right? I mean, there's just a lot of ego. You got to have it, but it's also got to be dialed in. And I think that, you know, from an ego standpoint, man, it really hurts a lot in the sport, whether it's from amateur coaches, you know, from fighters, to thinking that, you know, this grass is greener on the other side, or I should do this and I should do that. You know, there's just too much I. And obviously, you have to have strong, big egos in order to pursue this sport. But I've always grown to understand in my world of boxing is that, you know, boxing is a team sport, man. You know, and you can't put an I in team. And if you got a good team around you and you're willing to, you know, buy into the process and the concept of working hard and discipline, that in the world, you know, the sky's the limit. You can achieve anything, you know. That's in any sport, but I think ego is probably the biggest issue I've seen.
That was actually a really good answer. I didn't see that one coming, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Question 10.
If we separated things, right, it's like, hey, we can go down the amateur route and talk about those issues, and then we can talk about
but you talked about an issue that covers both.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
yeah, through the whole sport of boxing in general.
Yeah.
Okay. Question 10. Would you ever be interested in going in a celebrity boxing match show? So you could fight anybody. It wouldn't matter. Would you? Because now that you're retired and you do the gym and things like that, if celebrity boxing right now, they've been becoming pretty big. They're all over Facebook. They're all over the internet.
Yeah.
They got shows going on. If they reached out to you and offered you to come on the show and fight somebody, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do it. You know, I stay in pretty decent shape. I still work out. I don't train as much as, like, you know, I've got a fight coming up. But as long as I had enough time to prepare myself to be the best version of myself, I'd totally do it. You know, I think it'd be fun. I think I'd be able to, you know, talk my wife into, you know, being but yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Question 11. If you had to be a clown for a show, what would your clown name be?
Clown for a show.
So if you had to dress up for like a kid's party and be a clown, or something to do at the gym and you had to be a clown, what would your clown name be?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't know. Big Red. I don't know.
What did you say?
I said Big Red. I have my big nose, and, you know, it's gonna be Big Red.
Okay. Question 12. What's the one sport that you cannot stand?
Man, I think that there's, you know, I see the positive in every sport, man. I don't think there is a sport that I can't stand. You know, I think there's sports that I just don't favor. I'm not a huge, like, soccer fan or, you know, anything like that. But I love sports, man. I can't say that I can't stand the sport.
Okay. Question 13. If you could be any animal for one day, what animal would you be?
Man, I had to take on being the king of the jungle, man. You know, the king of the jungle, man. You know, you get to wear that crown. You know, these are fierce beasts out there. You know.
Okay. Now I know we kind of talked about this next one a little bit, but I'm just going to ask the question, and you can kind of, if you repeat what you said earlier, that's fine, or if you want to say something different. But question 14, how do you personally inspire people?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I can just add to what I said earlier. Obviously, making sacrifices, and the work, what I've done to this point, but also just trying to be the best version of myself. You know, just like, you know, not just being willing to tell somebody what to do, but show them. You know, I wanna be the best version of myself, but, you know, I work hard every single day still. You know, even if I'm not, you don't see me punching the bag working hard. You see me punching the clock, and I'm at the gym, I'm in my office, I'm working, I'm having meetings, I'm meeting with people. I'm just putting myself out there to be the best, you know, version of myself. And I think that people sometimes see that, and they see my work ethic, even if, you know, beyond boxing, they see my work ethic professionally as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. They see those things and the fruits of the labor, and they see how hard I work, man, and that's inspirational. So if I can continue to do that, man, I think that I can, continue to, shed light on, being successful and being the best version of yourself by, basically showing it.
Okay. Question 15. What has been the biggest accomplishment in your life?
The biggest accomplishment. I mean, honestly, the biggest accomplishment, man, honestly, for me has become as being a father, man. Like, honestly, that's an accomplishment, to be a father that's present in their kid's life, man. To be not just a dad, but a father. I have 5 sons, and I'm able to spend time with them. I'm able to lead them. I'm able to guide them. I'm able to coach them. I'm able to support them. I'm able to spend time with them, because of the sacrifices I made and the lifestyle that I live. And honestly, it's an achievement, man, because I just know that life could have took me a different way. I could be a totally different man, but I've been able to do what I've been able to do, man, because of sacrifices made, and also my loving, supportive wife, Lacey Outlaw, who helps me be the best version of myself and a good father. And I think that's a huge accomplishment that I couldn't do without her.
Okay. Question 16. What household chore do you hate doing the most?
Man, cleaning the toilet. Man, oh, man. And boys, man, look, they miss on purpose sometimes. I'm standing right there, like, come on. And I gotta clean, man, the toilet. No. Mopping the floor. Gotta clean the toilet. Oh man.
All right. Question 17. If you could have dinner with any 4 athletes, alive or dead, who would it be?
Any 4 athletes. Hang on 1 second.
All right.
Any 4 athletes.
Yeah. So if you had a dinner party and it was you and 4 other people at the table, what 4 athletes, dead or alive, would be at the table with you?
Dead or alive, man. I love to sit down with. I said SOG. That's my guy.
And
Let's put
who?
LeBron. Let's put
Who?
outside the Andre Ward SOG side.
Okay.
Let's put Michael Jordan. Let's put Michael Jordan there. Let's sit down with Michael Jordan. Let's sit down with Tom Brady, man. How about one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and then let's say let's put Money Mayweather in there, man, for the boxing fans, man. That's a lot of ego in there, but he's a smart businessman.
So we got Mayweather, we got Andre Ward, we got Tom Brady, and we got Michael Jordan.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow, that's a dinner party there.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Question 18. What is your favorite thing to drink?
Orange juice. I'm a huge orange juice fan. I love to drink orange juice, man. I remember as a kid, just like there used to be a vending machine at the gym, boxing gym, and after every workout, man, I try to give me an orange juice if I could. But yeah, orange juice, my favorite.
Okay, question 19. If you had to pick one charity to give $100 million to, who would it be and why?
You know what? Being in a position I am, I actually run my own charity. So, the Element Community Health Fund, is where we raise money for scholarships to give back, and honestly, I would push it into my community because it's not just me running that, my wife, my other, some mentors that I've worked with and community advisors. We all are together and making sure we're raising money each year to kick back to scholarships and opportunities and resources. I would take those resources, man, and dive deep into, those issues that we're having in the community where kids are killing each other right now, man. We need more services. So I would dive deeper in the work that I'm doing, man, and support further.
Okay. All right. Last question. Question 20. What is something you are absolutely afraid of?
Like something like
Anything in life, what are you afraid of? Yeah, I mean, it could be an animal, it could be heights, it could
yeah.
be airplanes, it could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, I fly often, so I'm not scared of
Oh,
airplanes. I mean, I do have a fear of snakes, man. I don't like snakes.
okay. That's it. A lot of people don't like snakes.
No,
So.
snakes, man. I have a big fear of snakes. But as it relates to life, man, I probably, maybe won't never run into snakes. But I just, I fear going back to where I was at, man. As a kid, and my kids growing up, and not having what I had. So, that's one of the things that pushes me to create opportunities for my family, and take what, what my mom helped me build up, and give back to my kids, man, and give back to the community at the same time. So, I don't want to go back to, where I came from, but I want to use where I came from to get me to a better future and my family as well. So,
Okay. Well, listen, Dalton, I appreciate you coming on, man, and being a good sport with the 20 random questions. And anything you want to say to your fans or your family, your friends before we end the show?
man, I just always want to end with a thank you, man. Thank you to yourself. Thank you to supporters. Thank you to the community. Thank you to the boxing community, man. Thank you to everyone that supports you, that supports this, that supports my work, man. Because without those folks, without the supporters, man, and the believers, and the non-believers, man, we won't be able to do this. Sometimes the non-believers, bet against you, but you need those people too.
Yeah.
They give you that drive sometimes, man, and we won't be able to do the work that we're doing without them. So thank you, man. Thank you for everything.
All right, hang on. And the truth has spoken.
There it is.